hours.
This is getting longer and longer. Back on over to Nibs and Korea. This is Spookles. And R7, players from Rise Nation getting those quick eliminations. Doesn't get much easier than that.
We are west side of Salty Springs.
There's still 87 people left. Sorry to cut you off. 87 still remain.
The shot goes for it and just barely misses. Trying to catch players rotating out the east side of Salty. It looks like there might be 4 teams in rough proximity here, and Windwalker might have taken a shot at a totally different player as well, trying to catch somebody rotating away. You see there on the right side of your screen the format, just a reminder, especially that big bonus, super important. 87 players left. Just trying to go for the shots every single time.
And you know, he's got actually a great inventory right now. He's got the swap weapon. When we talk about swap weapon, it's when you have that pump with maybe an SMG of some sort to swap on over and consistently put out damage. Here's Baldy and Gunfly, members of Optic Gaming, trying to push on forward. They've got 2 players nearby. They've got some great utility as well. Not a lot of ammo right now for Baldy, so he's got to make these shots count. He claims the first wall. Will he be able to claim a second? It does appear so. The build battle continuing. Grapple, possibly back up to the high ground. Nothing as of yet. One close. Whips the pump shot.
His opponent maybe even not realizing that that was him right in front of him. It looked like the grappler out. Shots from above. He's got to try and build up and defend. Gunfly, his teammate, has a top-down view as well. He's got himself kind of in a box, half owned by his opponent. Some traps, you hear him going down there, and Gunfly is trying to build to defend himself.
And this is the worry about those third-party engagements. When we say third-party, we talk about when, well, there's a fight like this, 2 teams going at it, a third team then makes their presence known, looking for some free damage. As now it looks like the fight will stall for a brief moment as Diggy and Perfect Tilt have got to the high ground.
Now I'd like to point out Diggy and Perfect Tilted earlier during a previous Heat 4, they took home $40,000 from the Make It Rain bonus, which we're not too far away from. So we could see a repeat for them. Raz and Bog here. Bog not looking too hot HP, but Raz still able to defend his teammate, hopefully, here in the kind of the corrupted zone to the southwest of Dusty.
Now, one thing to point out, Fortnite games, what, normally last 20, 25 minutes?
Roughly.
It has been now almost 3 minutes since our last elimination. That is how slow these games will be off the break, as everyone wanting to just hope the players around them all begin to drop. You see Hysteria there in your engagement feed with the snipe onto Villix from 45 meters, as Bizzle and DMO. Bizzle, one of the highest earning Fortnite players
and this
in
duo,
history.
Arguably a pretty solid fan favorite. A lot of people have been supporting Ghost for a while. It's good to see those players show up. Aiden, another member of Ghost, always putting on a good show. The edits down, trying to take possession of as many of these surfaces as possible, just in case an opponent tries to sneak in. You can catch somebody off guard as they rotate underneath.
And this is why so many players want to avoid, they try to avoid these kind of early to mid-game fights, because look at this right now for Razaru. No healing left, no other utility remaining, not many mats, less than 350 mats. If they get in a straight-up fight with these two, win or lose, I can tell you right now, based off of DMO and Bizzle's health, they don't have a hell of a lot either. So it's one of those things where it's like, hey, we get in that fight, and next thing you know, even if we win it, we're still sitting there going, wait, we have nothing to our name. Look at how little ammo they have for the assault rifle as well. Bizzle and DMO not in an ideal position at all. Oh, Vinny Zexro. Standouts from day one.
Zexro, one of the most aggressive players we've seen so far here in the grand finals for the fall skirmish, taking shots. Literally, as I said, one of the most aggressive players, pushing up those ramps, building up. He's going to use the glider redeploy here in a second, get a top-down view as his teammate moves in at the same time. Vinny far underneath him. He's just looking for a top-down angle, and there's no risk here because if that gets shot out like it is, he just pops the glider redeploy and flies in on his opponent. Exactly what's going to happen is his opponent building up above him and his teammate trying to match. Looks like the quad, using it to just drop any structure. The shotty for over 100. Keep himself down to 92. Vinny gets the knock. Overpeak is down, which means it's a 1v2 situation. Zach's going to take just a moment here. Pop a full shield. Vinny looks like he's doing the same thing with minis, which puts him just over 100. Overpeak knockdown right next to him. That's going to be tough to save. Oh, teammate Dopeye building up. Looks like he's getting shot from above potentially as well. Vinny and Zexro are in such a good spot right now. Even though they're just outside the zone, but with so much HP and shield, they have an opportunity to take advantage of that. Kind of
look at Vinny's ammo.
Do a little bit of gatekeeping. Only 12 shots.
Yeah.
Medium is very low right now, and a body shot from a bolt action could spell defeat for him as well. Dopeye's going to have to move very soon, waiting for the edge here, especially if he doesn't have any HP healing, like a medkit, bandages, anything like that. He's in a tough spot. Zexro's going to take advantage of that. He's just kind of waiting. That's why he waited the very last second to rotate, see if he can catch his opponent rotating. Vinny gets that elim. Dopeye actually goes down to Yo-Yo Keep It Up, who is potentially the third party. Maybe not the bounce he intended there as he flies towards his opponent.
He hits the crater. He's having to burn through all his materials down to just 70 left.
6 builds, 5 builds, he's ramping up.
Oh, he gets pyramided. He's stuck in the zone for the moment, down almost out of materials. And folks, actually now 5 more seconds. This is gonna be a $50,000 make it rain period right here. Here we go. Remember, during this time between zones 3 and 4, whoever earns the most eliminations, $50,000 will be earned. Keep an eye on that engagement feed. Who will win that huge sum of cash?
Now, Jack, in a situation like this, you've played in events like this in the past. I think we both have, even today's Stream Invitational. $50,000, is that going to make you play kind of out of position from, your normal strategic? That's a lot of money, Jack.
It is a lot of money. I think the big thing with it is, they can try their best to keep track, but it's not really one of those like tangible things that you can say. For example, when you're going for just straight up eliminations to earn a point, you can say, hey, we're 1 elimination away. Let's really try to hunt down in third party one of these fights to get that last elim we need. In this, you're kind of just hoping other fights don't happen. You're trying to do all this addition in your head for these elims. I think you just have to play and keep it in the back of your mind like, hey, maybe we can get a couple extra during this, but if not, they can't let it change their game too much.
Looks like Linane and Skatch moved into tilted as Nick and Aiden are rotating away. And you see on the right side of your screen, Fuzzy 301 and Enigma already have 2 eliminations. If no elims happen during the time, it would carry over no matter what, which means now if 2 teams do tie for the most eliminations in the next 4 minutes and 8 seconds, then it still carries over. But put another $10,000 on the Make It Rain bonus. Every time that thing grows, I get a little more nervous for the way these players are going to change their play style. Here we go, Fuzzy. His teammate Enigma is out, but 2 eliminations. 2 of them looks like they may have finished team 6 grenades. He's got a pretty good setup here. 142 medium ammo, surprisingly quite a bit for a competitive match where players are playing a little more strategically. There's 81 players left still in this circle. DMO, Bizzle stuck right there above Raz and his teammate Bog. Looking down from above, they're just outside the zone, so they're going to have to make a rotation relatively soon. It's not pressing. They have a minute and a half still, and then some, so they have to bounce out.
And again, that Make It Rain bonus you see is strictly counting the eliminations from this segment, just during the Make It Rain for the moment. As we continue to stick with players, Shifty Shafts and Salty both about to be out of play, meaning the points of interest on the map, the named areas, 0 will be in play for this zone. Half the zone is in that kind of river in the ravine where you get stuck down there, you're in a pretty poor positioning. You see everyone try to sprint on out. Yo-Yo Keep It Up, Zexro and Vinny gatekeeping as well. They know someone's nearby. Yo-Yo Keep It Up ticking down to that zone.
He's trying to edge it as long as he can. He doesn't want to get too aggressive.
Look at this, he can't even run out.
Might be kind of a trouble here. 24, 22 HP. He's got 2 bandages to pop before he's forced to move in.
He's got to glide.
Meanwhile, there's still other teams trying to rotate into the circle. Yo-Yo managing to fly just past. Doesn't realize potentially just yet that this is unoccupied, but he's going to find out quickly. No one else is there, which is solid play. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the Make It Rain bonus.
And we have our first 2 teams that have earned themselves a point this game. Hysteria with 3 eliminations with Blind will put them on the board with a point, both representing C9, and then ECA, Punisher, and Tendons with 3 eliminations as well.
Laser there from Yo-Yo on Dopeye rotating in. Wanted to take a look at that. His 1 elimination thus far. Final Game Bro, his teammate knocked out.
Now, folks, just to reiterate, there's 76 players remaining in this game, and that's the entire zone on the top right of your screen. That's where we stand right now.
2v2 here. Sword, two members of Sword, Devious Frosty stuck up above. Having the top down on Aiden and Nick. Those stink grenades, you're trying to use those kind of to try and root Nick out of the little structure he's built up in. Any of those ticks of damage, players are going to try and move away from it. And if they're used correctly, you can force opponents to make moves just the way you want them to.
Ghoul from Ghost Gaming with a knock on Diggy. And 75 players left, and this is probably going to be one of the last zones before everything's going to go nuts. 1 minute and 10 seconds on the Make It Rain bonus as we keep track of that as well.
Cloak in the feed. Cloak and Tifu finally showing up in the feed there.
In your elimination feed, remember, this is arguably the most stacked lobby in Fortnite competitive history. Here at the Fall Skirmish Finals, you wouldn't expect anything different as Devious and Frosty still on that high ground. Are they looking to use the new glider redeploy? What will the answer be from Aiden and Nick Merckx? Lenane and Scratch on the top side of the map too, beginning to move, and there's Cloaksy and Tfue right in the heart of the zone,
little bit of
healthy
noise
as
here.
ever, looking to strike early in game number 1.
Like you said, this is almost to the point where the circle is going to start claiming quite a few players' time here at the crowd every time Tfue and Cloak show up. A lot of love
And
for FaZe.
again, to stress, players for player integrity, skins have been randomized during all these matches. Oh no.
Aiden and Nick,
oh, no.
Nick on the verge of elimination. Aiden just barely holding on, 5 HP, trying to defend against Zexro.
They got 3 though. They did get 3, so Aiden and Nick Merckx officially on the board with a point. Might not be the ending they want, but you know what? They're on. They've got themselves one.
I know in the bottom right corner as Vinny gets eliminated there, it looks like they might have been teammates, but Vinny and Yo-Yo actually opponents basically in the same box next to each other. The number of teams now that are in line of sight of each other it's going to be insane. You have Funk Bomb, Nate Hill here. We cut across. They're just outside the zone. They're going to have to rotate northwest ever so gently, sharing the ammunition, this little base they've built. Nate trying to go for a snipe shot, just watching for any team to rotate. Now's the time to do it too, because he doesn't have to, these two, they don't have to move very far. So if they're looking to build up some eliminations just for point's sake, this is a good time to do it. Hopefully they realize Payne, Vape Jesus, Marksman and his teammate are all stacked above him on that hill. It's gonna be a tough hill to move away from. Earlier we saw Bog and Raz actually, for a little while, had the most eliminations during the main set 3, but DMO and Bizzle caught him from above here. Was getting the knock on Bog. Those clingers so important too when used correctly. You saw Bizzle drop 2 on the structure just above and then immediately swap to shoot it out so that once the explosion of the first one happened, the second would fall in on his opponent, and that's exactly how it played out. Well done there. Cloak and Tfue. Shots coming from multiple directions while they're editing holes, windows, and walls to try and take shots of their own, looking for parties rotating away. 87 medium ammo. A handful of shotgun shots. Tfue gets sniped 39 meters from Nate Hill. The riff from Cloak just trying to make it away. And
he's just got to accept it's gone. That's how Tfue goes out. Nate Hill, fellow FaZe member with lightning quick reactions, hits the shot, and now Cloaksy's left by himself. But he had 2 rift to goes.
I feel like we've seen Cloak every game he's played so far, at least carrying 1. You see a team way up in the air over there. Hysteria's gonna go for a shot here. The hunting rifle just looking for any sort of movement. Peek over the top, he's gonna try and take a shot, and that team does know that he's there. Very quick peek there as Hysteria and Blind in an excellent position, the very top of this hill. They have a top down on everybody. Cloak still plays
their
shield.
Position is good, but look at Hysteria's health especially.
Tough.
Rough spot. At 72 hours now in the elimination feed, Tenpo and Jamok. Hysteria wants this shot so darn bad. He's got a lot of materials, which I'll definitely say is a great spot, but here we go. This is where you're about to see over half this lobby drop like fries. Fries. Flies. It's an all-out race, and here we go.
In front of Hysteria, multiple teams moving up the same ramp.
Oh yeah, gets a quick tag on 1.
He's got to watch that zone, only 35 HP like you pointed out earlier, but he has a chance here to just take free shots essentially on teams that are rotating into the zone.
Look at this, they're scattered all in front of him. They continue to try to keep this high ground. 30 seconds as this zone continues to shift. Saint building on up. Morgossi now there as well. Funk Bomb and Nate Hill on the low ground. Blind with the pyramid on the top. There's someone up top as well. You see Hysteria frantically trying to stop that high ground from his opponent. 53 players remaining now as the elimination feed begins to light on up. Horrified drops to the storm. Hysteria still inching forward. Oh gosh though. They've got Dementos and Pate just above. Hysteria is just going to forfeit that high ground and float using the glider redeploy. And look at the
storm claiming so many lives there in the feed. Players going down, getting caught mid-rotation. Hysteria and Blind
27.
To establish.
That's how fast we
half
just lost
the field
half the
just went down.
It's because of these mountain plays, and now they've got to go right back.
Literally the opposite direction. They have to move through this structure, which Hysteria catches an opponent who doesn't even realize they're in the same box together. The storm starting to tick for 8 as Hysteria is trying to push up, getting caught. Another player shows up right next to him. It was Ghoul from Ghost. The storm claims Hysteria, but he got one just before he went out.
And Blind just got another knock as well, so that with Hysteria's 4th elimination, Blind's also got one. I just looked at the engagement feed right now. Frosty has 6 limbs now at the moment there from Soar 2. So many players racking up the points now. 15 remaining in this game. Morgassi, who is the winner of the Summer Skirmish, still alive in this game 1 alongside his teammate.
This spread here, a very vertical set of players, 15 remaining. Peyton, his teammate, all the way up top. Morgassi and Saint trying to basically spray out the surfaces, looking for an opportunity to take a shot here.
Still in this as well.
14, no shield on the target. They're just going to go for the elimination. As soon as you see a white marker, that's called immediately by players at this level.
Nate Hill and Funk Bomb now
drop. What an angle. 55 shield tag there.
Oh. Can't chase it. There it is.
On the way down.
8 players remaining. 13 on this zone. Remember, you begin to get towards the top 5 when you earn the points for placement as well. Cloakzy still in this one. He's earned multiple eliminations as well, with getting him and Tifu a point. Pate and Demento's on the high ground. It's all going to come down to this. 8 players left. A quick shotgun tag comes in. Saint Morgassi still playing, looking on down. No materials left. They're going to have to chase this one as he looks for any bit of damage he can get. He takes some fall damage as well. The stink drops him down to just 10 HP. He's going to float down the mountain. Everyone on one ramp. It's all out warfare as he's down to 31 health. Floating to the low ground. These stinks are so good in this last
might
zone.
spell defeat there.
You've got Saint now playing the high ground. He's got
the
a
reload.
Cloakzy's still in this too.
4 players left.
Oh, he's got this. He's got to have this. He's just playing the healer zone.
Kits.
You saw the smile as well. I think he knows he's got it. I think he knows he's got it. There's no way. Cloakzy's done all he can. Cloakzy's done all he can. That's it though.
Make some noise.
Pate with the heals.
Well played.
And just like that, they get it done. But you know what? Cloakzy's hyped by himself. The man goes all the way to top 2 with, I believe, he had like 5 limbs on his. Because I need some. I think we're ready though. And the 2.
Are you ready for game 2, Jack?
You see our players there. I am ready. Difference. We got people using controllers. We've got people using mouse and keyboard. 6 games being played today. Game number 2 about to be underway. The Fortnite Fall Skirmish Grand Finals. We're having fun. Let's get it started, baby. The battle bus has launched. Game number 2 begins right now.
This time around, we have a northwest, kind of mid-east, headed towards Lonely Lodge bus path. Players jumping on out. This is quite a stretch for some typical drops. You might see a later drop from the gentleman from FaZe, Tifu and Cloak. We'll have to see here where they end up landing.
And there on your map at the top right, you also can look at where the llamas are scattered.
You got 2 very close next to each other there, one in Dusty and one to the immediate southwest in that corrupted area. That one actually probably going to be pretty exposed. I'd almost bet you, though, the one in Dusty is in a tree. And up in Wailing Woods is so secure. Look at this.
You always wonder how a llama gets in a tree.
You made a paper mache. What are you doing up there? You see all these POVs all at the same time. Jack, that's a lot of information to take in. Actually, one thing I'm noting, though, if they're not still floating, immediately harvesting as many materials as possible in every single location that they may have dropped into. Aiden Nick, you see up there in the top middle. Already in Tilted. The red apartment building, a pretty common drop. You hear the loot boxes popping open. And you can tell, even just by landing on the roof, audio cues are strong so that they can hear immediately what might be inside, if there's a chest or not. Got Nick and Super Evan back in their building as well. Looks like I got my wish, Jack. I wanted a rematch, and it's going to happen here, assuming they run into each other. Super Evan, for a second there, flipping through, has a trap, which has come in extremely clutch in Tilted in the past. Yeah. So many surfaces, even just natural surfaces, you can place those things on.
And this is the same fight as last time.
This is the same fight as last time, too. Punisher slowly ticking out there. It's like Germ playing in the dark, potentially, in his webcam
This sums up how, you know, these beginning fights are a base pistol, an epic scoped assault rifle with 10 shots, and that's the whole loadout. Two gray SMGs as well. It's just so scrappy. I saw in the elimination feed again, Cease goes down almost instantly, and whoa, Tendons.
A 1v1 now, German Tendons facing off here. Let's see if Tendons rotating away. He does have 50 shield. He might not have the knowledge of whether or not Germ has shield of his own.
I think that the common shotgun that he's got is the difference here. Being able to get close with that tactical shotgun When his opponent has no shields, that's when the weapon's at its best. And another
Excellent
HP
shot
tag.
there.
That might be the kind of call to go. He wants to close the gap. Tendon's looking to get revenge for his teammate Punisher. Jumps on over. Will he spot the players? Doesn't appear so as of yet. Has he lost
track of him? The wall there. There's the knockdown. Finishes J-Love. A 1v1 now. Still trying to track down his opponent. The last of that duo. The shots going out. He's just kind of defend himself slightly. Has a chance to put the trap down if he needs it, if he feels like he's going to be invaded, but he doesn't have to. Quite a bit of ammo for that 1v1 situation. Back here, Nick looks like he's been knocked down already, but Aiden, 169 gets the knock. I got to go 1v1. The shotgun, the crit, Super Evan goes down, and Aiden saves the day. Don't worry, Nick. Aiden's got your back, bud.
And I can tell you right now how that happened. I noticed it in the feed. Nick Merckx got knocked by a trap. Aiden left by himself to clutch on up, and that's why Nick wanted a team with this incredible player right here. He clutches it. 2 games of Tilted, 2 victories in that area for Nick Merckx and Aiden.
DK and TJ out here, the little soccer stadium, watching for a rotation from a team that looks like they were just engaged with. TJ not doing too hot on HP. The heavy snipe. DK's inventory there. You see 19 heavy rounds. That thing often used for more than just long-range shots. The Gunfly Baldy here. Engaging the shot.
Oh. Instantly eliminated Baldy with not really much to his name at all. Only 1 wall can be built. Basically just needs to hit a flick pub shot. As if is weak as well, but has at least enough metal to build a box and maybe can try to get the res on his teammate. Yeah, Baldy's got nothing to show for it.
Looks like he might be going for the bush here, waiting just long enough that the revive is going off. Stops the revive and catches him on the edit there. Baldy falls in, and 1 shotgun shot is all it takes from Ziff to save his teammate and secure the 2 elims.
And I mean, even that was calculated from Ziff, right? Doesn't release the res the second Baldy gets there. Doesn't panic. Knows it takes 3 hits with that pickaxe to break through the metal, which was just enough time to finish the res. Scoped assault rifle in the hands of Balla. And Bumpa's there as well. He's bouncing back and forth. Not a lot of HP to his name. Will he just deploy off this roof? It does appear so. They're going for it. They're risking it all right now, Lupo. Here's the quick challenge. No pump fired yet. Quick edit on the stairs. Unfortunately, will not be able to get a shot off in time. His opponent will get the high ground, and as he grapples, it looks like he'll have to give that up for the moment. Quick edit again. Fall on in. Nope. Nice little dodge in that shield. Might just be the difference. A great crack on the shotgun there. Oh.
Be very careful. Just barely gets clipped.
Linane and Skatch. Nice little victory there. But man, another scrappy fight. It's these early fights, Ben, that it's like, yes, you want them, but at what cost? But at what cost?
It all depends on kind of the situation that you and your teammate might be set up in. Even early game right now, so long as there's this many players left on the field, you don't necessarily know who you're up against unless it's a drop like this. Aiden and Nick Merckx securing Tilted as Zextra and Vinny look in from the outside. But you have an opportunity to secure a couple early game elims and maybe put yourself in striking distance for a point.
I think one player over by Kevin just did the extreme like boost launch.
You saw him way up in the air.
Yeah,
there.
that